looks like I can. Hey, good afternoon. I am about to start a peach tumbler. I know everybody had questions about the making of it, so I'm going to try and get you a couple of live videos with me actually making the peach tumbler. Let me close this door. Yes, this is the peach crown cup. Hello. Right now, I'm just mixing my epoxy. I have a total of maybe 15 mLs of epoxy here. It is not going to take this much epoxy to do the first layer of, basically doing the epoxy method on my tumblers. I do not use a lot. It's a really, really, really thin coat. Hey, Janet. Okay, so I think that's mixed up pretty good. What I'll be using, I have my tumblers. I have spray painted the tumbler. This is orange at the bottom, which is this here. And then I did do a white at the top, which is a flat white, I believe. Right here. Okay. You will also need gloves, epoxy. I am using Glitterchimp Tang. I don't know if you can see that. It's an open bottle that I'm going to use first. And then this is from Glitterchimp. And then this one is from Mr. Nola's glitter. I have not opened it. I've not used it on this cup yet. But I'm out of the white that I normally use, so this is what I'll be using. Okay. So we can go ahead and get started. If I have time, if this video is not too long, I'll show you how I do my wood grain on this tumbler here as well. I also have a gold tumbler that I spray painted gold. I am going to eventually do a Hennessy. They wanted it to be more girly, so I'm going to try to make this a his and her cup and do this one kind of girly. Both of them will be Hennessy, but that's going to be complete wood grain. I'm going to probably try and do a peekaboo on this one where I do my gold glitter on the bottom, epoxy it, spray paint it, decal it, and pull those off to show the glitter through, and then do a wood grain over that. But to start, for the peach cup, I do have my tablet here so I can see comments, so you guys can comment if you need to, ask questions. Like I said, I don't use a lot of epoxy, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What I normally do to do my epoxy method of applying glitter, first thing I do is I sprinkle or place a little, just a tiny bit of this epoxy on here. Like I said, it's not going to take that much. All I want is a really, really, really tiny thin coat. So I'm going to try and make that cover this entire cup, which it should. If it don't, I'll place a little bit more on there. Hey, Courtney. So I have pretty much covered this entire coat with just that small amount of epoxy. And the reason why I do this is so that I don't have to turn it. I don't have a 2-cup turner. So I don't have to turn this cup for this epoxy to dry. This layer is so thin that it's not going to really move anywhere. I'm just going to place it right here on top of my holder, and we'll get started with the glitter in just a second. I want to go ahead and get this other one coated as well. I don't know who's calling. Alright. Sorry about that. That was a phone call that was trying to come through. I'm going to do the same thing on this one because I'm actually going to make 2 of these cups. One is going to be for an order, and the other is an extra because I get these cups so often that I want to have one on hand. So I'm just coating the entire cup. Hi, Michelle. Did anybody have any questions? Once again, just in case there's anybody new that came on, I am coating the entire cup with a thin layer of epoxy. So thin that it does not even have to turn after I get the first layer of glitter on there. So I've coated that whole entire cup. Okay, so on to the glittering. What I do first is I put my lightest color on first, which will be the top part. I have a sheet of paper for each color because I don't want to mix my colors. And I just, actually I want to put this in a shaker. So let me get a shaker for this because it'll be so much easier to apply. Okay, so these 2 colors are pretty much the same. I'm just going to add it to some white I got here because it just makes it a lot easier to apply than applying it from the bag. I'll have to get the rest of that in after I get this done. Okay, I don't really need this glove either no more. So what we do first is apply our lightest color first when I'm doing the ombre, and I just sprinkle it across, turning my tumbler as I go to try and get as much coverage as I can the first time. I do 2 or 3 layers, but the very first time I just turn the whole entire cup across the white that I've already kind of pre-made with the spray paint. That's it. And I tap it to try and get any excess glitter off. Set it back on the holder. This is what I do when I'm working downstairs at my cup station. So I'm just showing y'all how I work. So I put that up, grab my next sheet of paper, and I go ahead and apply the orange. There's no weighted certain way. I always start at the bottom, but you can start however you want. And I just turn the cup as I go and apply the glitter. I am using, I have to go and check the name of it. I can actually post a link. I buy it from Amazon for the epoxy. Shake and tap any excess glitter off. As far as the spray painting, I just sprayed it white and then went back and sprayed the bottom orange. The cup was just a regular stainless steel silver cup, much like this, but a different shape. So that was the first layer of glitter. I gave that a little bit of time to soak in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and apply another coat of the white. Once again, my glitter colors are Oak Alley from Mr. Nola's Glitter. That's this here. And Tang from Glitterchimp is what I'm using today. It's not what I always use. The white is a different color than what I normally use. But what I normally use is this white down here on the bottom, which is Pearl from Kitty Craft. And I bought this bottle off of Amazon a long time ago when I first started tumblers. So now we're applying our second coat of glitter. Second white coat. And when I first started doing tumblers, I base spray painted all of my cups white. When I started seeing the difference in what it makes when you actually spray paint the cup, the color of the glitter that you're adding, you don't have to use as much glitter when you have a base color of the same color or something matching. Some orange in there. I will. Okay. So we're going to give it our second coat of this Tang. Make sure you guys can see me. And like I said, I just sprinkle the glitter on. Make sure I'm getting my bottom. And the coverage looks amazing. I don't see any spots left. And like I said, it's a very tiny thin epoxy, so I don't have to spin these. I won't get ready to spin it until I get ready to apply my first thicker coat of epoxy on it. And that one is done. That's going to sit for 6 to 8 hours. Once it's done curing, well, after the 6 to 8 hours, what I'm going to do is spray it. I'm going to seal my glitter because I don't want my orange to run into my white and I don't want my white to run into my orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum clear coat. That's metallic. I had some clear spray paint around here somewhere, but I'm going to use that to coat the whole thing, and I'll probably do maybe about 2 coats of it. I'm gonna spray it, let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, and then spray it again, let it dry for about a half hour, and then I'll be ready to put my first coat of epoxy. First real coat of epoxy. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and coat this second one. And as you can see, no epoxy drip. That sat and waited while we did the first one. This epoxy layer is so thin that it just sits. It sits right there. There's also another method, the Mod Podge method. I was a big fan of Mod Podge until I learned how to do the epoxy method. Once you learn how to do it, you won't want to go back. I do still do the Mod Podge method for certain cups that require you to do the Mod Podge method. So there we have it. That's our first coat of white glitter on the second cup. Where did it toss it? Let that sit while I get ready for the orange. And I'm not really doing anything else, so if you guys do want to stay on, I am going to go ahead and apply the alcohol inks and show you how I do the wood grain. So here we are starting with the orange. If you didn't see the first cup being done, we're doing the second cup. We're applying the orange tangy glitter, which is also called Tang, to the bottom of this cup. This will be a peach cup, the crown peach cup. Okay. And layer one is really kind of full coverage. I just like to go back through just in case there's any spots that I don't see that I missed. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on there of the white and then a second coat of the Tang. I'll post the epoxy that I'm using in the description once I'm done. I think it's called Incredible Solutions on Amazon. Hey, Suzanne. It's a little chunky, the white, but not too chunky. It's not a fine glitter, though. It is not. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. I didn't change out my paper, so this got some orange on there. So we're just applying our second coat of the white glitter. Yeah. Okay. It's delayed a little bit, but yeah. This kind of got orange in it, so I'm not going to pour that back in there. Okay, and the last coat of the Tang for this cup, which, like I said, that one coat pretty much got this cup covered. I just like to go back in and just in case there's any spots that I missed. Now, when doing the epoxy method, some people do spray it and apply glitter that way and use a thicker amount of glitter. And when you do that, you will need more than the 1 to 2 coats of glitter. You may need 3 or 4. I've done it that way before. I just started doing this really thin coat. I like the way it turns out, and like I said, I don't have to turn my cups. They're going to sit right here for the next 6 hours until it's time for me to spray them with a clear coat of Rust-Oleum spray paint. I'll go get that bottle too, just to show you how it looks and what I'm using. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for what? Spray it a little. Okay, so here's the clear coat of Rust-Oleum that I use. So all 3 colors are this and this to start. And then now that the cup is fully covered and we're waiting on it to cure just a little bit so that I can apply this coat. And I'll do 2 coats of this. I'll spray it once, wait about 10 minutes, spray it again, and I'll be waiting about 30 minutes after that. So tonight I should be able to put my first real layer of epoxy on this cup. If I do, can you stop that? If I do decide to do it tonight, I will come back live to show you how I apply the epoxy. The Tang glitter is from Glitterchimp. It's called Tang, Suzanne. The peach color is Tang, and it's from Glitterchimp. Okay, so we completed that. We got glitter here. And like I said, I'll go ahead and show you all how I apply the wood grain on the tumbler, which I've done on a tray here live. So you can always search my name and look for the live video. I did a rolling tray with the wood grain effect live. This is how much epoxy I had left, which is 10 cc's. So 10 mLs. I only used 5 mLs for both of those cups, which is not much at all. I just can't mix that small amount. For some reason, I can't pour small amounts, so I always mix too much. I do have a mold I would normally put it in, but I'm not going to waste time going back downstairs to do that. I'm going to go ahead and show you all how I apply the wood grain to a tumbler. It is so hot in here. I don't want to wear these gloves, but I need to because this alcohol ink sticks. So the colors that I'll be using is Latte. I don't know if you can see that. We have Caramel, which is the same colors that I've always told you that I use for these type of cups. It was one other that I used on the rolling tray. This one is Teakwood. But I have toned it down to only use just these 3. So when doing the wood grain effect, I start with my lightest color first, which is the Latte. All I do is a strip, and then I rub it up and down, up and down. For the light colors, I'm just pretty much getting some color in and some definition, I guess you can say, because these colors won't show in the end, and that's why I'm just coating the cup basically with it. This cup was base spray painted white, same white that I use for the peach tumblers. I want to make sure I'm staying in the camera. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to scoot over a little bit, make sure I'm in the camera for you. So. What you making?
I guess it's more simple.
Should be. It's just push back. I ain't using it. So that's our first layer. And that color is latte. Okay, Suzanne, the color of the paint was real orange, Rust-Oleum. Okay, so the next color that I'm going to use on here is our caramel. And you're going to see it darken up just a little bit, not much. It's the teak wood that really gives it that dark wooden color. Caramel, I would stop here if I wanted like a white, lighter wooden color. But I just give it one line and just go up and down until I've covered the entire cup. And you can pretty much see it is trying to form a little small wood grainish effect. I've done it this light before when I first started. I did a B cup like the one I posted earlier last week, with a lighter color before. The teak wood I just seen in another video, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that dark color for the wood grain. So that's when I purchased it, and I've been using it ever since. So we have our full coverage of the caramel on our cup. And lastly, our teak wood. Just trying to see if you guys were asking any questions. I have my tablet here so that I can see comments. Yes, it will stay up. Now with this one, I move a little bit slower because I want to get some more definition as far as creating like those wooden strokes. So I move just a tad bit slower, and I let the alcohol inks sit in certain spaces for a period of time, which will create those circles, those bubbles, some of that wood grainish effect that you see when you purchase wood products, or like my new table I got. So this cup here was a cup that I purchased from Walmart. My stores don't carry them in the checkout lane no more. They used to have like a $6.97 cup. And when I go to Walmart's that's kind of further out from where I live, I find the cups sitting at the checkout, and I always purchase 3 or 4 of them. See that how that effect is taken there? And with the teak wood, you just want to keep adding or stroking, applying it until you get the look that you want. Did anybody have any questions? I'm going to wrap this live up in a few. What I'll do once I'm done applying my alcohol inks, I will let it sit for a few hours. Most of the time I let it sit overnight because I'm working on something else. But you can let it sit for about 6 to 8 hours. And I don't seal the alcohol ink. I do not. I've heard that it can sometimes change the colors, make it turn green, make it turn yellow, and I don't never want that to happen. I have never had it happen to me. So I don't seal it. What I do once I'm done with this cup, I let it sit for a few hours, if not 24 hours, and I will go ahead and apply my epoxy. I do want a fresh layer of epoxy down on it, so that when I start applying my decals, I'm not pulling up any of the spray paint that's up underneath the alcohol inks or any of the alcohol inks. And I think I'm pretty much done. I'll go a little bit slow, but this is the finished wood grain look at this point. This is going to be just a regular guy's Hennessy tumbler. And I'll probably create like a tray set or something to go with it. Add a few bottles of Hennessy and make it a Father's Day basket if it's not sold within a few days or a week or so after posting. I don't know if you can get the full view of it, but I'll post a picture of how it looks. Did anybody have any other questions for me before I end the live? I can run, let me see. No, that's a 20-ounce stainless. The wood grain is a 20-ounce stainless steel tumbler. I get my glitter colors from all over. The alcohol ink colors I purchased from Amazon. Yes, you can. Tyrandria, Miss Smith. I'll just say that, Miss Smith. I don't want to mess your name up. These alcohol inks are Ranger, I would say. That's what's posted up in the corner. Well, shown up in the corner. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll take a picture and post it in the group for you. Yes, my cup stand is, I brought this stand from Tranquility. Yep, Tranquility is branded right there in the middle. But it is from Etsy. I have an Etsy shop and I support other Etsy shops as well. Especially when it comes to making tumblers. And I'll also run downstairs now and show you the epoxy that I use. So this is the epoxy that I use. It is called Incredible Solutions, and I purchased it right from Amazon. I believe it's about $70 for the set. This is a gallon set, 1/2 gallon of A and 1/2 gallon of B, and you use equal parts to mix it. So if you do 15 mLs of part A, you want to mix 15 mLs of part B as well. It's going to be cloudy when you first mix it. You want to mix it until it clears with as less bubbles as possible. Any other questions? I know I'm delayed, so I'm trying to wait and see if anything pops up. So this is everything that was used today to make the 3 tumblers that I created today. For anybody that came on late, we did these 2 orange peach tumblers, and the wood grain look. I'm not sure what you mean by if it turns yellow on white. Thanks, Gina. If you could, Miss Smith, if you can clarify what it is that you are asking, I'll go ahead and answer that question. But I'm going to end the live. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. You all have an awesome day.